reconvene in executive session pursuant to Article 7, Sections 105C, D, and F of the Public Officers Law to discuss matters pertaining to personnel, investigations, and litigation. May I have a second?
Second.
All right, we are in executive session. We'll reconvene in public session. Now back in public session. CUNY TV is transmitting the public sessions of this meeting live on the CUNY Board of Trustees website at www.cuny.edu/livestream. I'm going to go first, skipping on the basis of time. I'm going to go to Trustee Vivolo.
Item number 2.
Item number 2. There we go.
Okay, here we go. The Board Committee on Audit and Compliance considered the following matter at its meeting on April 28, 2025, which I will now present to the Board. Item 2A is a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2025 external audit plan. The university's external audit, Grant Thornton, meets with management and those charged with governance each year to review and discuss proposed audit plan. This plan includes the scope, areas of focus, and timing of financial statements and federal program audits. Mr. Chairman, I present item 2A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second? Next page.
Okay. Oh, may I have a second for this?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, trustee.
Bye.
I am going to, my comments, I'm going to have them submitted into the record. So I'm going to skip through those. I'm going to go to our chancellor, I believe.
Okay.
Chancellor's comments.
Thank you, Chair Thompson, and hello to board, vice chancellors, presidents, and deans. It's an exciting time of the year. We have come to the end of another semester, and commencements begin this week. So let me begin with some funding news. On May 9th, Governor Hochul signed a state budget that includes $130 million in additional operating support for CUNY senior colleges that would fund PSC wage increases in fiscal year 2026. $192.2 million to cover one-time PSC retro and bonus cost, $5.3 million in additional operating support for our community colleges, and funding for many other important programs and initiatives. I want to shout out the governor's new Opportunity Promise Scholarship that would provide free community college tuition for adults pursuing degrees in high-demand fields. We thank our partners in government for these resources, which will enable CUNY to continue serving as a powerful catalyst for upward mobility for all New Yorkers. We are grateful to the governor and to our lawmakers in Albany for their strong support. As you know, the city budget process is underway, and I enjoyed the opportunity to speak with members of the City Council last week during the hearing on the fiscal year 2026 executive budget. We are grateful that Mayor Adams' executive budget fully restores $95.5 million in PEGs that have previously hurt our campuses, provides an additional $15 million in one-time general operating support, and includes funding for successful CUNY programs such as ASAP and ACE. We thank Speaker Adams and the City Council for their ongoing strong support and look forward to working with them and the Mayor's office as the budget process moves forward. We understand that many of our international students and those who are immigrants are feeling anxious and uncertain. CUNY is committed to providing up-to-date guidance about shifting U.S. immigration policies and actions. I am proud of the work done by CUNY Citizenship Now, the nation's oldest and largest university-based legal assistance program. I had the pleasure of attending their spring drive at John Jay College this past Saturday, where 220 volunteers and 77 staff members assisted 319 participants with completing their citizenship applications. Last month, we were pleased to be able to share the payout dates for the negotiated increases and payments included in the new PSC contract. We sent a letter to PSC members with the dates and followed it last week with an extensive FAQ. The first payment, the $3,000 notification bonus for eligible full-time employees paid by the state, arrived last week. A couple of shout-outs. First, the primaries are coming up, and as usual, CUNY will host early and election day voting on 14 campuses. CUNY Votes, our nonpartisan voter education initiative, has been busy making sure students understand the importance of their participation. CUNY Votes recently hosted a helpful webinar about ranked choice voting and launched a civic engagement campaign with the tagline, "When CUNY speaks, New York's listen." National Nurses Day and National Teacher Day both recently passed, and it was a chance for us to celebrate 5,000 plus teaching and nursing students who will be earning diplomas this month. CUNY alumni represent nearly half of New York City's new nurses and 1/3 of its new public school teachers, and we are proud of the role we played in prepping so many students for successful careers in these industries that are currently facing statewide staffing shortages. Yes. We also, and I'm sure that this might be a sensitive subject to some here, but we recently partnered with a brand that is as iconic New York as CUNY, the New York Yankees. On May 3rd, more than 2,000 CUNY students, staff, faculty, alumni, and friends enjoyed a beautifully CUNY day at the stadium and left with inclusive co-branded CUNY Yankee caps.
Right.
And no more divisive messaging here.
Well,
So,
you're just really, let me tell you.
How about that?
And I've got friends with the Yankees too.
earlier this month, I spent a day in DC with student leaders, many presidents and deans for CUNY Day on the Hill. It was a great opportunity to meet with members of the New York State federal delegation, discuss and lobby for federal earmarks, and recognize the support we get from our city's congressional delegation and Senators Schumer and Gillibrand. The event concluded with a reception hosted by Congressman and CUNY alum Espaillat at the Library of Congress. I want to give special thanks to our Board of Trustees Secretary Gail Horwitz and our student trustee Daniel Redden for their participation in the reception. On Mother's Day, I visited Queens College for a celebration with SIPS Club, a program to support children with autism and their families, run by CUNY students and directed by psychology professor Emily Jones. In 12 years, more than 500 children and their families have benefited from the program and its mission to help children with autism develop social communication and play skills, support their neurotypical siblings, and strengthen sibling relationships. To watch students apply their passion and learning in support of children with autism and their families through sometimes a simple game of catch was deeply moving. The way that the SIPS programs puts learning at the service of the community truly represents CUNY at its best. Now, some great news to share about our great faculty. We congratulate 5 faculty members who recently won prestigious Guggenheim Fellowships in recognition of their impactful contribution to the arts and the humanities. Their fellows are Daniel Boskov, a multimedia artist and professor at Hunter College, Harold Hosler, a Jonathan Phantom director of the Roosevelt House Public Policy Institute at Hunter College, Karen Strassler, an anthropologist at Queens College and at the Graduate Center, Antonio Tibaldi, a film professor at City College, and Yon Yao, a music professor at Queens College. On to more award good news. Graduate Center professors Noel Carroll and Blanche Weisen-Cook were elected to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, along with a visiting research scholar and alumna. This honor recognizes the transformative impact of their academic work and their commitment to advance the common good. Kudos to all of them. And of course, May is also an ideal time to celebrate our students' academic accomplishments. And here are just some examples. 9 standout CUNY Community College students were among the 90 across the country, which means that of all the country, 10% came from CUNY, to receive the prestigious Jan Ken Cook Foundation's highly competitive undergraduate transfer scholarship. That is the largest number of CUNY students we've ever seen to receive the scholarship in a single award cycle. This year's CUNY recipients attend BMCC, Hostos, Kingsborough, LaGuardia, and Queensborough Community Colleges, and the award pays up to $55,000 for up to 3 years to support their pursuit of a baccalaureate degree. And speaking of degrees, starting this Thursday, our colleges and their schools will be holding more than 25 graduation ceremonies throughout all the 5 boroughs. Our graduates have triumphed over many obstacles. Many are the first in their family to finish college, recent arrivals to the country, or among the 5,000 who earned their degrees while raising children. With so much going on in the world, it gives me great hope to pause and savor the collective achievements of our talented and resilient students who are ready for whatever comes next. On behalf of the entire CUNY family, I congratulate the graduates and their families, and I look forward to attending several of our commencement ceremonies in the upcoming weeks. We'll end, we did so well last time with the video, so we'll end with a graduation-themed video that really puts a fine point on CUNY's long-standing commitment to social mobility and its impact on so many talented individuals, especially our student parents who are setting a powerful example for their own children. Brody Enoch is a father of 4 who is graduating from the CUNY School of Law on Thursday. He's a longtime community activist and advocate for the blind, who is also legally blind himself, and he plans to build on the work he has already done by pursuing human rights law, advocating for, as he says, and I quote, those who don't have a voice, and at the same time, inspiring his children to take pride in his success, using as a guide to what's possible for themselves. We are privileged to help students like Brody make good on their dreams, but I would let him speak for himself. So if you could please go to the video.
I wanted them to be able to say, my dad does this. I wanted them to have a real sense of pride of what their father was able to accomplish. There was this progression in my brain, in my mind, in my psyche, in my soul, where I first thought I could make changes on a societal level. And then I realized that anything I ever did in organizing and advocacy always came down to the law. I had a blind person once tell me that being blind and going to school, I have to do everything here that everyone else does, except I have to do it going backwards and in 6-inch heels and smile. This school has an amazing number of people who want you to succeed, whether it's a visual barrier, whether it's your own self-doubt, whatever it is that's keeping you from being your best, they work with you. At CUNY, we're creating immigration, civil rights, housing attorneys who are ready to represent those folks who don't have a voice.
Nothing else to be said, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you,
That concludes my
Chancellor.
report.
Let's now turn to the items requiring a vote today. Item number 1, minutes of the regular board meeting and executive session of April 15, 2025. I'd like to move item number 1. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All right, let's now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Item number 3, I call on Committee on Finance and Administration Chair Henry Berger to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Finance and Administration considered the following matters at its meeting on April 28, 2025, which we will now present to the Board. Item 3A is a resolution to approve a change to per-credit pricing structure for academic excellence fees for graduate programs at Baruch College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3A for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3B is a resolution to authorize an agreement to maintain access to Microsoft products and services. The university seeks approval to enter into a 5-year agreement to continue access to critical Microsoft software and services that support all university students, faculty, and staff across 26 campuses. The term of this agreement is effective from October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2030, for a total amount not to exceed $36,230,304 over the 5-year period, utilizing the New York State Office of General Services Microsoft Manufacturer Umbrella Contract, excuse me, the OGS contract, to procure Microsoft products and services. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3B for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3C is a resolution to authorize an enterprise-wide unified support contract with Microsoft Corporation. The university seeks to enter into a new 3-year contract to ensure uninterrupted access to essential Microsoft support and services effective November 1, 2025 to October 31, 2028, with a total not to exceed the amount of $3,039,471 over the 3-year period. The new agreement will maintain comprehensive Microsoft support services, including CUNY-specific engineering support for Microsoft projects, Microsoft strategic technological advisors, and service delivery management. The university will utilize the New York State Office of General Services Microsoft Manufacturer Umbrella Contract, the OGS contract, to procure Microsoft unified support. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3C for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Second. Any discussion? Now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3D is a resolution to authorize an agreement for the University Enterprise Licensing Agreement, an ELA, for Adobe Acrobat, Adobe Creative Cloud, and Adobe Express software. The university seeks to enter into an ELA for Adobe with a new agreement commencing on October 7, 2025, and expiring on October 6, 2028, with an option to renew for an additional 2 years, ensuring continued access to Adobe's evolving suite of tools, including Acrobat Pro, Creative Cloud, and Adobe Express, for a total potential term of 5-year period from October 7, 2025 through October 6, 2030. The total contract value for the initial 3-year term is $4,981,800, with an optional 2-year renewal, bringing the potential 5-year contract value to $9,682,860 over the 5-year period, ensuring equitable access to essential digital tools at a predictable cost contingent upon the availability of the New York State Office of General Services Adobe Manufacturer Umbrella Contract. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3D for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 3D is approved.
Item 3E is a resolution to authorize a contract with Dreamland Security Services for unarmed security guard services at Kingsborough Community College. The college issued a competitive mini-bid utilizing the New York State OGS contract, group number 71011, award 23106, to procure the required services. Dreamland Security Services, Inc. was the responsive and responsible bidder, offering the lowest bid price in response to the solicitation. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Dreamland Security Services, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $3 million for a period of 5 years. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3E for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 3F is a resolution to authorize a contract with Schindler Elevator Corp. for elevator maintenance and repair services at Kingsborough Community College. The college issued a competitive mini-bid on the OGS contract number PS 70077, award number 23271, and Schindler Elevator Corp. was the responsive and responsible bidder. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Schindler Elevator Corp. in the amount not to exceed $1,400,000 for a period of 4 years. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3F for board consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 3G is a resolution to authorize a contract with Cimarron Corp., DBA Wisdom Protective Services, to provide unarmed security guard services at Baruch College. The college issued a competitive mini bid utilizing the New York State OGS contract route number 71011, award 23106, to procure the required services, and Cimarron Corp. is responsive and responsible bidder. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Cimarron Corp. in the amount not to exceed $5,812,992 for a period of 5 years. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3G for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Second. Any discussion? All right, let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 3H is a resolution to authorize Cimarron Corporation, DBA Wisdom Protective Services, to provide unarmed security guard services at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. In August 2024, the college issued a competitive mini bid utilizing New York State Office of General Services contract route number 71011, award 23106, to procure the required services, anticipating their need based on the last year fiscal expenditures of approximately $320,000. Cimarron Corp. was the responsive and responsible bidder. The college security needs through February 2025 have required the expenditure of approximately $452,000 in purchase orders under the OGS contract. The college anticipates additional expenditures not to exceed $375,000 to meet the campus security needs through the remainder of this fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Cimarron Corporation in the amount not to exceed $800,000 for fiscal year 2025, which includes the $425,000 already expended on existing purchase orders. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3H for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3I is a resolution to authorize a contract with Gilbert International, Inc. for facilities maintenance services at LaGuardia Community College. The college issued a competitive sealed bid invitation for bid, and Gilbert International, Inc. was the responsive and qualified bidder and presented the lowest cost proposal. The university is seeking approval to enter into a contract with Gilbert International, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $9 million over a period of 1 year, with a renewal option for another year not to exceed an additional $9 million. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3I for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Thank you. Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Moving right along. Item 3J is a resolution to authorize a contract with SAGE for the SAGE Research Methods Collection. SAGE is the exclusive publisher of this product, and the university would like to purchase this collection, which is to be processed as a single source, subject to the Office of State Controller approval. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with SAGE for an amount not to exceed $490,500. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3J for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3K is a resolution to replace the December 16, 2024 resolution to a contract with Springer Journals Package and Nature Journals. On December 16, 2024, the Board of Trustees authorized a 5-year contract with Springer Nature, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $5,930,962. However, this figure omitted $417,950 associated with the inclusion of an additional journal, Nature, that had been acquired separately in previous contracts. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures not to exceed $6,348,912 over a period of 5 years, which includes the omitted $417,950. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3K for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3L is a resolution to replace the December 16, 2024 resolution to authorize a contract between the City University of New York and Technolutions, Inc. for Slate, an admission customers relationship management solution. On December 16, 2024, the Board of Trustees approved the contract for Technolutions, Inc., establishing a contract for a 5-year period for $1,920,000 from January 31, 2025 through January 30, 2030. The improved resolution reflected the annual value of the contract as rather than the total contract value. The university is seeking approval to enter into a contract with Technolutions, Inc. in amount not to exceed $8,640,000 for a period of 5 years from March 17, 2025 through March 18, 2030. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3L for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item. Second. Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3M is a resolution to approve the Personnel Matters Report of the Finance and Administration Committee. The April-May 2025 Personnel Matters Report is generated from employee data entered into the university system of record between February 10, 2025 and March 24, 2025, and does not contain appointments that have been submitted as individual resolutions. The report contains 15 ECP actions, including 7 regular appointments, 2 interim appointments or extensions of interim appointments, 3 resignations, and 1 reclassification, and 2 salary changes. Mr. Chairman, I represent 3M for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3N through 3V are resolutions to appoint regular and interim members of the Executive Compensation Plan. If anybody wants to consider anyone separately, we can pull them out, but I'm going to present them all together.
That's fine.
Item N at the central office is Evan Silberman as the interim senior university dean for academic innovation. Item O at the Borough of Manhattan Community College is Tiffany James as interim dean of student affairs. Item P at the Borough of Manhattan Community College is Pete Gutierrez. This is an extension as interim dean for health sciences and nursing. Interim Q at Kingsbury Community College is Andres Escobar, an extension as interim vice president for finance and administration. Item R at Lehman College is Kimberly Kendall as interim dean of adult and continuing education. Item S at the central office is Zeko Kurcic as associate vice chancellor for faculty operations and emergency response. Item T at Gutman Community College is Anita Luckett as the dean of workforce education. Item U at the CUNY School of Medicine is Stannis M. Smith as executive legal counsel and labor designation. And item V at Hunter College is Peter Englot as senior vice president of communications and external affairs and executive deputy to the president. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3N through item 3V for the board's consideration.
We have a second for these items.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
And
Those
finally-
items are approved.
Finally, item 3W is a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2026 City University of New York investment portfolio spending rate to ensure compliance with the New York Prudent Management of Institutional Funds Act. The university must analyze the investment portfolio to determine the appropriate spending rate for the upcoming fiscal year. For fiscal year 2026, the university proposes a 4% spending rate based on the review of current economic conditions, portfolio performance, and need for distribution, coupled with the long-term preservation of the investment portfolio. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3W for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you, and go Mets.
Thank you, trustee.
Equal time.
Here you go. A board divided. Item number 4, let me call on Committee on Education Policy Vice Chair Henry Berger to present with the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Education Policy considered the following matters at its meeting on April 28, 2025, which I will now present to the board. Item 4A1 is a resolution to establish an advanced certificate in perinatal mental health at Brooklyn College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4A1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4B1 is a resolution to establish the Department of Criminal Justice at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4B1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstention? Item 4B1 is approved.
Item 4C1 is a resolution to amend the governance plan of the College of Staten Island. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4C1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4D1 is a resolution to appoint Kia Vernon with immediate tenure at the CUNY School of Law with an application of bylaw 6.2B. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4D1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4E1 is a resolution to approve the Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee. The information contained in the Faculty Personnel Matters Report includes appointments and reappointments with tenure and fellowship leaves in summary format from faculty data entered by the campuses into CUNY first between February 10, 2025 and March 24, 2025. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4E1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4E2 is a resolution to approve the actions of the Curriculum and Academic Policy Dashboard Report. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4E2 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I got.
Thank you. That concludes your report. Thank you so much, trustee. Item number 5, I call on the Committee on Advancement and External Affairs Chair Lorraine Cortez Vasquez to present and move the following items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Board Committee on Advancement and External Affairs considered the following items at its meeting of April 28, 2025, and which I am now presenting. Policy item 5A is a resolution requesting the approval to accept a bequeath from the estate of Anna Blumenschultz Burke to Hunter College. Mr. Chairman, I present 5.A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Thank you. Policy item 5B is a resolution requesting to name the Sue Kawashima Scholarship Fund at Hunter College.
Yes.
It's a wonderful story, sir. Mr. Chairman, I present items 5B for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5B is approved.
Thank you so much. Policy item 5C is a resolution requesting to name the Lester and Constance Mann Endowment Scholarship at Hunter College. Go Hunter. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5C has been approved.
Item 5D is a resolution requesting approval to name the Marion, Mason, and Louise Yolahem Endowment Scholarship at Hunter College. Mr. Chair, I present item 5D.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 5D has been approved.
Policy item 5E is a resolution requesting the approval for a scholarship to be named the Jenny Otero Endowment Fund at LaGuardia Community College. This too is a moving story, Mr. Chair. So I present item 5A to the board for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposed? All right, item 5E has been approved.
Thank you very much. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, trustee. Let me call on Committee on Student Life Chair Michael Arvanites to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Student Life considered the following matter at its meeting on April 28, 2025, which I'll now present to the Board for approval. Item 6A is the resolution to approve the Jonas Salk scholarships. Mr. Chairman, I present item 6A for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Item number 7 is a resolution to recertify the Sorensen Center for International Peace and Justice at Roosevelt House Public Policy Institute for a 5-year period. I move the approval of item number 7. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. The Chancellor has asked the Board to consider 3 additional resolutions today. I'll ask the Secretary to read each resolution for the record, and we'll first vote to add the item and then take a vote on the item itself. Gail.
Okay, I won't miss this. Sorry. Item number 8 is a resolution to adopt executive compensation plan changes at the City University of New York, May 19th, whereas executive compensation plan ECP resolutions in 1987, 1994, and 2000 state, quote, that periodically but no less frequently than every 5 years, the Board of Trustees shall review national peer data to compare and reassess its executive compensation salary plan. And whereas the salary plan was amended in 1994 to link salary adjustments to general salary increases for New York State management confidential employees, and under the 2012 revised salary plan, increases to salary ranges continued to be tied to increases given to the New York State management confidential employees. And whereas in accordance with this mandate, the City University of New York, the university, engaged the services of William M. Mercer in 2003, 2006, 2010, and 2012 to update the market analysis previously performed. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, the Board of Trustees adopted a revised salary plan on June 26, 2017, based on this market analysis. And whereas on December 16, 2024, the Board of Trustees approved annual salary increases for all members of the Professional Staff Congress, retroactive to March 1st, 2023, as follows: 3% effective March 1, 2023, 3% effective April 1, 2024, 3.25% effective September 1, 2025, and 3.5% effective September 1st, 2026. And whereas in accordance with the ECP salary plan approved by the Board of Trustees on June 26, 2017, the 2017 ECP salary plan, any modification of salaries within the ECP is at the discretion of the Board of Trustees and must be presented to the Board of Trustees for approval. And whereas in accordance with the 2017 ECP salary plan each year, the Chancellor, upon approval by the Board of Trustees, will determine whether performance-based increases will be awarded and the amounts available to fund such increases, with such increases not automatic and subject to the availability of tax levy funds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Chancellor may grant a 3% salary increase to eligible members of the ECP effective March 1, 2023. And be it further resolved that the Chancellor may grant an additional 3% salary increase to eligible members of the ECP effective July 1, 2024. And be it further resolved that the Chancellor may grant an additional 2% salary increase to eligible members of the ECP effective July 1, 2025. And be it further resolved that the Chancellor may grant an additional 2% salary increase to eligible members of the ECP effective July 1, 2026, and be it further resolved that the Chancellor may grant salary increases to eligible classified managerial service employees who hold high-level managerial positions in titles excluded from representation by any collective bargaining unit, with a 3% salary increase effective March 1, 2023, an additional 3% effective July 1, 2024, an additional 3.25% effective July 1, 2025, and an additional 3.5% effective July 1, 2026. And be it further resolved that the Chancellor may grant an additional 1% to 1.25% performance-based salary increases to eligible members of the ECP effective July 1, 2025, and an additional 1% to 1.5% performance-based salary increases effective July 1, 2026. The explanation: the Board of Trustees recognizes the importance of recruiting and retaining innovative, highly competent, accountable, ethical, and visionary leadership. The Board of Trustees further recognizes that competitive, market-driven compensation for this leadership is necessary and critical to the long-term future success of the City University of New York, and central to the Board of Trustees' mandate to improve standards and promote accountability. The primary objective of the proposed increase is to build a compensation program that addresses the need to be competitive with the national and regional market, which acknowledges the complexity of specific institutions while promoting transparency and accountability.
Easy for you to say. I'd like to make a motion to add item 8 to our agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All of those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Item 8 has been added. I'd like to move item number 8. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? All right, we'll now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's been approved.
Item number 9 is a resolution to appoint Suri Deutsch as president of Kingsborough Community College. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, the university appointed Dr. Suri Deutsch as interim president of Kingsborough Community College, the college effective January 29, 2024. And whereas as interim president, Dr. Deutsch has overseen a successful Middle States Commission on Higher Education site visit, gained federal recognition of the college as an Hispanic serving institution, helped ensure enactment of reforms to the college's shared governance body that have increased meaningful participation for students, staff, and faculty, and launched development of a 2025-2030 strategic plan. And whereas Dr. Deutsch was previously dean of the School of Professional Advancement at Tulane University, where she worked with faculty, staff, and students to develop a vision of academic excellence and responsiveness, overhauling every aspect of the school's programs, student services, and operations to implement that vision. And whereas in this role, Dr. Deutsch developed a comprehensive data-supported approach to student engagement focused on significantly improving student retention and timely graduation rates, ensured that all students consistently received quality academic advisement, developed initiatives targeted to the needs of specific underserved populations, including veterans and those who are incarcerated and post-incarceration. And whereas Dr. Deutsch was University Dean for Continuing Education and Workforce Development and Deputy to the Senior University Dean for Academic Affairs at the City University of New York from 2011 through 2016, guiding programs enrolling 50,000 students each year with a budget of $80 million. And whereas Dr. Deutsch managed a staff of 250 in the university's central office, responsible both for university-wide program operations and programs hosted at the colleges, managed $60 million in annual grants from local, state, and federal government, launched the CUNY Service Corps, and co-chaired the Chancellor's Task Force on Experiential Learning. And whereas Dr. Deutsch holds a PhD in urban education from the CUNY Graduate Center, an MSW in community organizing from Hunter College, and a BA in English literature from Columbia University. And whereas the University Search Committee, chaired by Vice Chair Sandra Wilkin, led a national search and recommended Dr. Deutsch as one of the finalists for the presidency of Kingsborough Community College. And whereas after consultation with various Kingsborough Community College stakeholders, the Chancellor is recommending Dr. Deutsch as the president of Kingsborough Community College. And whereas Section 6.2.C2 of the bylaws of the Board of Trustees states that, quote, a person appointed to the title of professor, associate professor, or assistant professor may be granted early tenure by the board in its discretion under these bylaws after not less than 1 or more than 7 years of continuous satisfactory service on an annual salary basis when such service is interrupted by the period of a fellowship deemed by the college valuable to it, when for a very substantial reason the college would be well served by such early grant of tenure, or when the person has had tenure in another accredited institution of higher learning. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York approves the appointment of Dr. Suri Deutsch as president of Kingsborough Community College effective June 1, 2025, with an annual salary of $303,000, subject to financial ability, and be it further resolved that Dr. Deutsch will be appointed to Kingsborough Community College and placed on leave during her term as president, will not receive additional salary nor have any teaching or other faculty responsibilities. And be it further resolved that Dr. Deutsch will be awarded tenure in the Department of Behavioral Sciences at Kingsborough Community College effective June 1, 2025, with an application of bylaws 6.C2. The explanation, Dr. Deutsch has focused on implementing stronger shared governance, ensuring that each member of a highly diverse college community feels welcome, safe, supported, and able to do their best work, and managing a $160 million annual college operating budget with 2,500 full and part-time faculty and staff. The Chancellor highly recommends this appointment.
I'd like to make a motion to add item 9 to our agenda. May I have a second? Second. All right. And all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? No. That item 9 has been added. I'd like to move item number 9. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Chancellor?
Just to express my appreciation to the members of the search committee. Trustee Wilkin led that search, and trustees who were part of that, the presidents, the members of the Kingsborough community, and also the ones who participated in the campus engagement with the stakeholders. Appreciate, it's always a lot of work, but we found ourselves a great leader for Kingsborough, and look forward to working with the nominee.
Any other discussion on this item? All right, now let's move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Aye. We have a new president.
She's attending her son's graduation out of state, and I thought that was a my bad if I overextended.
I may be an abstention now, I'm not sure.
Okay, item number 10 is a resolution to appoint Natalie Gomez-Velez as interim dean at the City University of New York School of Law. Whereas Ms. Gomez-Velez is professor of law at the City University of New York School of Law, where she's been a faculty member for more than 2 decades. And whereas from 2013 to 2021, Ms. Gomez-Velez was the director of the Center on Latinx Rights and Equality, the CLRE, where she supervised CLRE fellows in research, advocacy, and public education projects affecting the Latino community, partnered with government scholars, legal practitioners, and community-based organizations on important issues to the progress of the Latinx community, including collaborating with the Hispanic National Bar Association and the Puerto Rican Bar Association to present continuing legal education forums and seminars. And whereas from 2007 to 2010, Ms. Gomez Velez was the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the CUNY School of Law, where she handled all aspects of academic administration, implemented the strategic plan through curricular planning and course scheduling, including increase in merging theory, doctrine, and practice by linking doctrinal and lawyering courses, introduced cross-listed courses with the CUNY Graduate Center, and whereas Ms. Gomez Velez has practiced as an attorney with the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU School of Law, the ACLU Reproductive Freedom Project, and in private law firm practice. Her public service includes prior service as Bronx representative to the New York City Panel for Education Policy and with the New York State Board of Regents as regent for the 12th Judicial District, and she currently serves on the Latino Judges Association Foundation Board. And whereas in 2024, Ms. Gomez Velez was appointed principal investigator and drafter for the report of the New York State Education Department on mayoral control of the New York City schools, and appointed as a member of the New York State Unified Court System Advisory Committee on Language Access. And whereas Ms. Gomez Velez holds a JD from New York University School of Law and a BA from Hunter College, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York approves the appointment of Natalie Gomez Velez as interim dean at the City University of New York School of Law for a one-year period effective June 30th, 2025 through June 29th, 2026, at an annual salary of $365,000. Explanation: Natalie Gomez Velez experience spans public, nonprofit, and private sector law, legal, academia, and public service. She has served in several high-level legal positions, including as Assistant Deputy Attorney General for Public Advocacy with the New York State Attorney General's Office, Special Counsel to the New York State Chief Administrative Judge, and General Counsel and Agency Chief Contracting Officer for the New York City Department of Youth Services. The Chancellor highly recommends this appointment until such time as a search can be completed.
I'd like to make a motion to add item 10 to our agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
We'll now move to a vote on that. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Item 10 has been added. I'd like to move item 10. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? We'll now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved, and I would say that Natalie is an excellent candidate to be the dean of the
We
law
are
school.
happy.
Go ahead.
Echo the appreciation to Professor Gomez Velez for stepping in, longtime member of the CUNY community, Hunter alumni, wonderful, wonderful choice. I also, and I know that we will formally recognize Dean Setti when we come to our next board meeting in June 30th. That would also be her last day, right? And given that she's here today in person, and I don't know if my last day was June 30th, I'll be attending a board meeting if it was my last one, right? I do want to thank her for her service and appreciation, and thank her and wish her the very best.
All right, there being no further business, motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Too happy. Oh, good.